Why is Minister Fikile Mbalula accused of trying to influence the ANC Youth League's leadership race? Will the incoming youth leadership have a bearing on the outcome of the ANC's 2017 elective conference? Why has the Northwest Provincial Executive Committee been accused of a signature campaign? And can the ANC Youth League National Task Team confidently say it has fulfilled its mandate? What time is it? It's question time. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Limpopo. Members have to extricate themselves from the mess that has characterized the Youth League over the past few years. Close quote. These are the words of the ANC Youth League National Task Team Coordinator, Natim Tetwa, referring to the League's recent organizational problems. The theme for the League's national weekend gathering is economic freedom in our lifetime. This presidential race of the Youth League has been marred by allegations of irregular auditing processes and interference from the top structures of the ruling party. A reminder that this is a live program and therefore you can call us. The number to dial 08911042110 if you want to express your views or opinions. Our Twitter handle @QuestionTime24. My guest today is Fikile April Vutamlilo Mbalula, who is a member of the NEC of the ANC. Did I introduce you properly?
ANC, NEC, and convener of the Youth League National Task Team.
There you go.
Yes.
But before we go into our discussion, I want us to bring in on the line quickly Boy Mamabulo, who is a leader of the ANC and the ANC Youth League in Limpopo, to just give us an update regarding what transpired today. Boy, can you hear me?
Yes, Limpopo.
Thank you very much, Boy. What have you done today?
Well, look, you remember that here in Limpopo, we held a provincial conference of the ANC Youth League in May. That conference, its results were nullified by South Gauteng High Court. And ever since then, those of us who took that PEC to court, we have been excluded from all the processes of the ANC Youth League ahead of the national conference. For example, I'm telling you now, here in Polokwane, we have the 8 branches of the ANC Youth League, but only 6 of them will be attending the national conference, meaning that 2 of them have been excluded. I'm talking about the biggest branch of the ANC Youth League in Limpopo, Sheo, and also the second biggest branch of the ANC Youth League in Limpopo, Mangwe. Mind you, these 2 areas produced former presidents of the ANC Youth League. And it will be for the first time in the history of the ANC Youth League, especially after the beginning in 1991, that you don't find the Sheo branch and Mangwe branch not participating at the national conference. So what we did, because you must remember that here in the ANC or the ANC Youth League, firstly, we don't report to anybody, and we're not fearful of anything. And nobody will ever come to us and dictate as to how we must run our programs or run our affairs. Because all of us, we join the ANC with 20 rand voluntarily, so we join the ANC Youth League with 10 rand and voluntarily so. So as branches here in the province, we have decided, because we have exhausted all the internal processes. You know, in the ANC constitutionally, you have to exhaust all internal processes before you can decide on other steps. But now, last week on Thursday, we filed court papers at the South Gauteng High Court, and the ruling is going to be made this coming Thursday. A day before the National Conference, because basically the constitution of the ANC League is being violated here,
okay,
and it's being violated by leaders of the ANC League.
All right, now, Boy, what you're saying is you want conference to be stopped.
Yes.
And this is what you have applied. I mean, that's your prayers at the High Court, you say.
Yes, look, we never lost any case. When we went to South Gauteng High Court in May, interdicting the provincial conference of Limpopo, some people love to say, no, these ones are shenanigans,
okay,
these ones are taking chances, but the court ruled in our favor.
All right, but you also understand that according to ANC principles, it may not necessarily be policy, once you take the organization to court, you are expelling yourself.
The constitution of the ANC Youth League does not supersede the Constitution of the Republic. That decision was taken at the Mangaung conference. It was a resolution, but it is not there in the Constitution of the ANC.
Okay.
You see? Yes.
Boy Mamabulo, thank you very much. So possibly there may be no conference, you say?
Yes, and then South African court will rule in our favor, hopefully so.
Okay, and it is you and who else?
No, branches of the ANC, because last time we went there as individuals, and they said no. We are presenting our views and our jackets and so on.
Okay.
But this time it is branches who have been listed there as applicants.
Okay. Boy Mamabulo, thank you very much for your time. Now, it would appear that conference is on a rocky start.
First, let me say I'm not going to respond to what Boy is doing. He knows what he's doing is madness, and at the same time, it is totally not within the prescripts of our organization. And that madness will be met with the wrath of the discipline of the ANC. That he must be rest assured of. He's not the only one who's got challenges when it comes to Congress. There are others also who are on that bent of taking the organization to court. We will defend ourselves, and equally, we will deal with that issue politically in the ANC in terms of the dictates of the discipline of the African National Congress. We have been very patient with these anarchists in the organization, and it is time now that we respond and adequately to what they are coming up with. We are not worried. We are going ahead with the Congress, and I will not comment on issues of the courts. We will respond in court of what is required of us in relation to the complaint that has been brought by them to court. They themselves know very well why they're complaining and what are the issues that they are raising.
Over the weekend, you attended a funeral of one of very dyed-in-the-wool cadres, if I may use the word, of the Youth League. And you do so. You attend the funeral of the late Castro More in preparation to the National Conference of the Youth League. Under these circumstances, I know you said at the funeral that if they could perhaps use Castro as a model, of the cadre that you want within the ANC Youth League. Perhaps let's just talk a bit about that.
Castro was a very, very unique cadre of the ANC and a special breed. He understood that at a given point in time, he participated in all processes, including the democratic processes of electing leadership and all of that. And at some point, he's been on the losing side. And at some point, he's been on the winning side. But he's never had enemies. I think when I say special, is because he still possessed those ingredients of the real comradeship. He died, everybody was there, the funeral was not tense, everybody was happy about Castro and how he touched their lives individually, collectively, and otherwise. And we went to a funeral of a comrade whom we actually loved and actually cherished at all given point. He was not married to factionalism or factionalist. He understood that you can lobby and be defeated and still stay on as a member of the ANC. Lobbying in itself for him did not mean permanent boundaries and the definition of inimical relations among comrades. So such was Castro.
Yes.
And we lack that ingredient today among us. I mean, these young people are actually punishing themselves, for growing and knowing the ANC and the ANC Youth League and taking this thing personally and taking it to heart, spending monies which you don't know where they get, hiring expensive lawyers, taking the organization to court, 1 million rands and all of that to try and stop the organization from moving forward. Such is the new dispensation and the subjective and objective realities we are faced with. The access to money that people don't know how to use and what for, and undermining organizational process. It's a sad thing, but the ANC will respond. I mean, the ANC will respond on this matter. It has never been our intention to destroy everybody or to deal with them harshly. Boy insulted me publicly.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the words he used to insult me, you can't mention in this radio. Kids are watching. You know, today, he's taking the organization to court. Who does he think he is in the ANC? That he is Boy Mama Bulu from Seshego, who can take the organization to court and hold it at ransom. Who does he think he is in the ANC? I mean, really, I mean, the organization will respond to this particular matter. And he's been advised properly that you are young and stay on course. There are many comrades going to any conference of this magnitude who will have challenges. We are addressing them. We are addressing those challenges. We've never said there are no challenges, there are no disputes. There are disputes. But in any dispute, the dispute must be settled. And it can be settled in your favor or not in your favor. And that's it.
I want to take a break. When we return, let's talk about this interest of older comrades within the ANC Youth League. This is Question Time. Please don't go away.
Across the globe, locally, and on the entire continent. Every second, every minute, and every hour. There's always a breaking story. We commit to giving you the most important, significant, and interesting news. That's why it is not a surprise that more Africans are tuning to SABC News to find out what is happening. Because when news break, we've got you covered. SABC News, Africa's news leader.
Morning Live sets the agenda for the day.
We bring you the latest local and international news.
We are on the ball with all your sports activities and results.
We give you the latest business update.
We bring you the latest weather every time.
Watch Morning Live every weekday morning at 6 o'clock, bringing you everything you need to know before you go. Shap shap, tada.
Health Talk, your show on health practice.
The people being empowered with knowledge so that they can change their behavior and reduce their risk of being sick.
How serious is stress at work?
If we don't address workplace stress, that negative stress, then it can lead to burnout and it can lead to depression.
How does absentees affect companies?
The one that's really problematic for employers is the one that is unscheduled.
How can companies organize their wellness program?
Health promotion mustn't just be a one-size-fits-all type of approach. It must be customized based on understanding of the unique needs of that particular organization.
For health tips that will help you to adopt healthy living with Dr. Sello Mutawung on Health Talk every Saturday.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time. Our guest today is ANC leader, former president of the ANC Youth League itself and former Secretary General of that ANC Youth League, but currently a member of the task team that has been tasked to reorganize the Youth League and organize their national conference, which is hanging on the balance now due to certain actions that have been taken by the likes of Boy Mamabulo in Limpopo. Now, let's talk about what has been reported in the media. There seems to be older comrades. You have also been pointed saying you have an interest in the outcome of the Youth League leadership.
No, that is a total distortion. And, you know, I'm a person that personally, if I can strike a personal note, that if I believe in something, I don't go around the bush. I go straight.
Sure.
When the ANC appointed us on this task, they asked for impeccable credentials and to be above reproach. Our task is to guide these young people to go to a Congress, not to choose for them. Whoever will be contesting will contest. We want the playing field to be clearer. And there's still a lot of work to be done in terms of political education. Obviously, we're lagging behind in terms of that. And we want a decent conference where there is law and order and discipline of the African National Congress that runs supreme. ANC leaders, in their own right, will have interest in the Youth League leadership. And Youth League leadership doesn't have to listen to them about what they want or what they seek to manipulate in the process. We have, leaders of the ANC have tried sometime to manipulate us to follow their own wishes in terms of which leaders must be elected. We defeated them. And some have succeeded in their endeavors to do that. So the Youth League leadership you have today must respond to that question. And we have been able to raise the issue with them to say that you need to respond on the basis of a political perspective, not on bargaining for names. If you want Mpotsedu to be the president of the Youth League, like now this Youth League conference is characterized as presidential elections that are mad. It's not only the president. You are building a cult. We are electing a collective. And in this particular instance, we have unbanned lobbying, that everybody is free to lobby. As you can see, people have been crisscrossing country.
Yes.
We have discouraged factionalism. Because in factionalism, you will not know even the candidate you want to elect. Because the Youth League has had a period of political lull, and some of the people might not be known. It is absolutely acceptable, in our view, for those people to actually be called by structures, not faction. But they are stubborn, you know, things that die hard and tendencies. They don't want that. They want to believe in factions and elect through the faction. But at the end of the day, a conference, a democratic one, will sit and make a determination about who must actually be elected. So structures are expected to nominate. We have had challenges. Some PGCs did take place. We're consolidating the report tonight at 8 o'clock. And then where there are still challenges, we will rerun between now and Friday.
Okay.
And then we'll settle all the disputes and challenges that we have.
What kind of a leadership should emerge out of this weekend?
More than a leadership, the question for us is what are the challenges that face young people today, and what space the Youth League seek to close in terms of the vacuum. What characterizes the challenges you are faced with is triple challenges of poverty, which at the heart of it, you are faced with a high rate of unemployment, 84 or something % of that, it is the youth. And then you have a problem in South Africa, or a challenge rather, of disengaged youth. Within the overall, you know, implementation of the youth policy that is being shaped. The Youth League must be in those struggles for youth development, to look at the questions of education. The struggle today in the institutions of higher learning, and among others, how we lose and win some institutions, is around the perfection of our education system, in as far as it could provide limited yet, you know, programmatic implementation of the realization of quality compulsory free education.
Okay.
How is the Youth League fitting into that? The caliber of the cadre of youth that is required today. Of course, with us, it must be somebody who possesses history and track record, understand the politics of the Congress, but over and above that, those young people will be resonate with the youth of South Africa in terms of their interest, like what I've actually mentioned, and also in terms of the outlook and whatever. Okay. And they will be able to articulate and lead youth issues.
Now, I guess somebody who may have had it better was Peter Mokapa. But Lulu was judged on the basis of what Peter was able to achieve. Malusi was judged on what Lulu was able to achieve. You were judged on what Malusi was able to achieve. Julius was judged on what you were able to achieve as president of the Youth League. Should Julius be the yardstick for the coming president of the Youth League?
No, we are not worried about Julius. Obviously, there will be a reference to that in relation to Julius and where he ended up politically. That era is properly analyzed in our discussion document. And it is characterized as an era that was almost unfortunate for the Youth League, and an era which we must never come back to haunt the organization. Leaders in their own name and right, the same as Mbeki Mandela, President Zuma, will never be the same as the Youth League. You could elect a Youth League president, you know, who understand issues, but it's not of the caliber of Mbalula, you know, out there, or of Malusi and so on. The key question is, will that leadership emerge, you know, in the struggles of young people? Whether you dance, you don't dance, you sing, you don't sing, you can be smooth in language. Do you resonate and capture the imagination of the youth? As it is today, no political youth organization has emerged irrespective of the challenges we're faced with the youth. Nobody will say that my political home politically is this party. The Youth League is that home which we believe that, you know, there is a vacuum because of its disbandment. And the key question for the leadership going forward is going to be whether or not they are able to rise to the challenges that they are faced with, and lead the youth to the point that they will be recognized, followed, and be celebrated by young people.
Obviously, conference is going to come and go, and a new leadership will be elected. There have been questions raised regarding women or young women's participation. There's a lot of members in the Youth League who are females, but they are not emerging high up in the leadership structures.
Well, they do. I mean, even in the proposals of leadership, you've got young women, you know, higher positions that have been proposed for them. That shows the caliber of the youth we have. We've got young people and young women with potential. Intellectual, you know, development of young women of the Youth League, I found it to be, you know, fantastic, and we need to pay attention to. I've seen, you know, very, very, you know, articulate, well-schooled young women in the Youth League ranks today. And as you will see after this Congress, and even at Congress, you know, I think the Youth League have produced even more young women, you know, who are skillful politically over the decades, you know, more than any other era I've ever seen. Probably that is debatable, but those that I've come across, you know, they are a marvel to watch.
Okay. Finally, I want to just take advantage of your presence here and quickly throw in rugby. I've never received so much response than the day when I was talking transformation of rugby, you know, on this program. Are you happy with the squad?
No, I'm happy with the squad. I think transformation is our challenge. We need to pursue. First and foremost, I've never had so many people, you know, expressing themselves vociferous about transformation. It's no longer an issue of Minister Mbalula. And there are those who take it as though I'm the obstacle to transformation. I've started the transformation process comprehensive. We've got 10 years that we missed in the calendar, where none was being done about transformation. Heineke Meyer, for all his pitfalls, he will not have been able to pick 20 players to this World Cup. And I think people must understand that. And we need to pick up the game of transformation in rugby and all sporting codes as per agreement between us and the federations. Okay. And I'm happy with the work that we are undertaking with SARU. The problem is that when I was announcing what we agreed with SARU, it was overlooked because of the FIFA scandal. So in the press conference, the issue that took over, now it is the World Cup. I don't subscribe to a notion that says our squad must not go to the World Cup, it must not be supported. I believe that notion is reactionary. I support the critical element and at the same time the impatience that is shown by our people about transformation. And that is the critical point, not the campaign to, not to support the team. We must support the Springboks.
All right.
Yes.
That was Mbalula, April Vutamlilo. And that was Question Time. Big thank you to you for watching the show. From me and the crew, have yourself a wonderful time. Goodbye.